Your nervous system is choosing your partner, and if no one has ever told you that before, this video is going to change how you see everything. If you've ever confused anxiety for chemistry, or maybe the chaos for connection, or maybe you felt regulated just enough to stay, but not safe enough to fully exhale, you've been dating from survival mode. So today, I'm going to give you 5 signs to know when it's happening and what safe love actually feels like when your nervous system finally gets a chance to woosah and rest. Hey, I'm Alicia Gilbert, and welcome to the Clarity Studio, where we talk about nervous system safe growth for high capacity women who are building audacious lives, meaningful work, and businesses and brands that last. When love has usually felt unpredictable, your nervous system learns to just be on alert mode. It can develop an insecure attachment pattern, and that pattern does not just stay in your relationships. Shows up in your work, shows up in your creativity, shows up in your confidence. We're talking one dysregulated nervous system running the whole show. If you're watching this now, I'm assuming you came to understand what the signs are. Let's get into this. Sign number 1, you are always tracking. You replay conversations over and over to make sure you said the right thing. You were constantly analyzing tone, and you most certainly read body language like it is a second language you're fluent in, girl. Okay? And then you're always staying alert, kind of like looking to see what is said that hasn't actually been said. And because somewhere along the way, you learned that what wasn't said was actually the most important thing. Your nervous system is doing exactly what it was trained to do in an unpredictable attachment environment. Hypervigilance has literally kept you safe. To heal your anxious attachment, start with recognizing that the hypervigilance, the always keeping your head on a swivel, that level of alertness protected you then, but it is now costing you. So in a healthy relationship, those same skills that you've developed are now just becoming a tax that you have to pay. You are spending enormous amounts of energy doing this like threat detection all the time when you're not even in a threatening situation. And trust me, your body does not know the difference yet. So safe love is when your partner's phone dings or gets a notification and your body doesn't immediately become alert. Your eyes don't begin to dart over, and internally you're trying to process and analyze all this information of based on how they responded, based on what their face looks like, how are they texting, who are they talking to. You become unbothered, just present, right? You start to realize that you don't need to track and watch and analyze so much in this situation. Sign number 2. You are shrinking to keep the peace. You are over-explaining for things that no one even questioned you for. You're apologizing for things that aren't even your fault. Girl, you give way more than you receive, and you are calling it love. You have thoughts and opinions that you do not share. You have needs that you are not willing to name. And there is a version of yourself that you just keep tucking down because you feel like the fully expressed you is way too much. This too is also a dysregulated nervous system when you have the need to constantly manage relational threat. So just check in with yourself here. If expressing yourself in past relationships or maybe within your family of origin circles have caused fights, have caused conflict, has caused withdrawal, maybe even punishment, your nervous system has learned stay small, stay safe. Really, shrinking has just become your survival system. It is the attachment pattern that your body has defaulted to now anytime love feels uncertain. What safe love looks like here is when you can say the thing and you're not worried that the relationship is going to end. You can take up space here. You can disagree without your heart racing for fear of like abandonment in the situation. And I just want to note that this is not a small thing. When your nervous system has learned that it can be safe in a situation and that you are allowed to show up fully and express. So sign number 3 is a big one because I feel like a lot of us have struggled with this, but you mistake intensity for intimacy. So you think the anxiety is really chemistry. Again, like that chaos is really the connection here. The ancient attachment pattern is a very cruel little tricky one, okay? Because she actually makes anxiousness feel like love. And so it gets into this uncertainty in a relationship, or that like push-pull dynamic, the almost but not quite so of like an inconsistent situation. Your body reads that as passion, as chemistry, as it must be meant to be, because, you know, it's just so much and I'm feeling so much. Calm, consistent, reliable love can just feel kind of boring. And not because the love is actually boring. It's just that your nervous system doesn't really have a reference point for what safety is yet. So you keep waiting for the other shoe to drop because, to be fair, in your experience, that's what love has done. Now, not to have y'all all in my business and whatnot, but this one I do know personally. So the first time I started to experience love that didn't come with a flood of like anxious emotions, like truly my nervous system was scanning for like, what's the catfish? What's gonna happen? How long can you keep up this mask? It took a lot of work to regulate my nervous system again and to be able to trust my own instincts and myself, so that I'm able to be in situations and know that even if something doesn't go right, I'm safe. I'm safe because I'm a safe place to be. And what safe love feels like here is when you realize that those butterflies were partially anxiety, and that what you may have now, the steadiness, the consistency, the person who shows up time and time again, even when they're not just trying to impress you, that is real intimacy. Real intimacy does not spike your cortisol. I promise you, love, it's going to lower it. Number 4 is a little bit different. Your relationship could be costing you your boldness. So your nervous system doesn't separate relationship you from professional you from creative you. There's only one you, right? And if you are dysregulated in any one of those places, you are dysregulated everywhere. And this goes back to your boldness. So when you're dysregulated in this way, you don't raise your hand for the work project that you know you wanted and that can stretch you and take you to the next level. You don't start the business. You don't write the book. You don't do things as small as sharing your true opinions and thoughts online without filtering them so much first, because you're constantly afraid and you keep playing small. You filter, you soften, and you are really just performing a version of yourself that feels safer than the real one. Trust me, I get it. Playing small feels safer than being seen and losing. So I have this very clear moment of the first week I moved to Georgia, and I remember me and Bernard were in the backyard and we were laying on this patio, and it was so beautiful and just surrounded by plants, and there's like a bubbling brook in the background. It wasn't a real brook, it was like a water fountain, but it sounded like it. And something in me just felt like it could just like exhale. And in this moment, I just remember that I felt safe. And leading up to this, me and Bernard were doing yoga in the morning, and he was cooking and opening car doors and asking curious questions because he truly wanted to know the answers to them and understand me and how I thought. That level of stability, that level of keep showing upness, if that's a word, that consistency, it was steady. It wasn't grandiose. There wasn't like huge grand gestures or anything, but it was steady and it was consistent. And I think somewhere along the way, my nervous system got the message that it is okay, that it is safe to be here. This is a place where you can land. And honestly, y'all, consistency is sexy. I don't know what you've heard. Anyway, because I was now in a safe relationship, a relationship that felt safe, my nervous system wasn't constantly being dysregulated or on high alert because I was concerned about my relationship like I was in previous situations. And because of that, it allows you to take bolder chances. It allows you to take the risks because you know if things don't work out, you still have a soft place to land. So what does this type of safe love look like? Well, it starts with you showing up and you not having to perform anymore. So this is like that big you personality, or maybe it's the small you personality, but whatever version it is, it's the you that has thoughts, has opinions, has dreams, has hopes, has desires, has like big plans, and you know that you're able to bet on yourself. And it's not that you didn't before, you just didn't feel safe enough to do that. Now you do, and now you're here. Okay, and so our last sign is sign number 5. You think you keep choosing wrong. So you look back on your relational history and dare I say you see a pattern. Different people, different circumstances, somehow the same results though. You may start to wonder, like, is something wrong with me? Or maybe, I love this, do I have a bad picker? I've heard that before. And some of you might just feel like, is love even for me? Like maybe I'm just like not qualified for it. So I'm gonna drop some science on you. Your nervous system is not choosing wrong, but your nervous system is choosing familiar. And familiar to a dysregulated nervous system is the kind of love that makes you anxious, right? That keeps you earning and feeling like you need to work for someone's affection or attention or to not be abandoned. Keeps you feeling like you're striving for something when it is really just meant to be given. So no, you're not bad at love, but your nervous system is jacked up. But I want to hold your hand and I want to share some good news. The moment that you actually get this, like really let it sit with you and get deep into your body, is the moment that healing can actually begin. Because you will stop blaming yourself for a pattern and just start getting curious about it instead. You can stop trying to choose better and start learning to feel different. So your nervous system can be rewired. That is neuroscience. And it starts with deciding familiar doesn't have to be home anymore. So if you just checked off any one of those signs, or maybe all of them, I made something for you so you know where to start right now. My free clarity quiz will help you identify what's running the show in your life right now. Now, it might not be where you think you should start, but it's actually where you need to. Link is in the description. So let's talk about how do we rewire a dysregulated nervous system, whether you are in a relationship or not right now. I'm gonna keep this very simple for y'all. One, I want you to audit who has access to you. Baby girl, not everybody needs a front row seat at your process and at your becoming. Distance is a form of self-protection, trust me. So 2, notice what you keep needing to recover from. So think about it. The thing that you keep kind of shying away from, or the thing that you need like 2 to 3 business days to like recover from, that is information. That is data for you. Stop trying to explain it away and start reading it correctly. So 3, we gotta change the self-talk. We gotta change how we're talking about ourselves. Like, what is that? I need you to change the conversation that you're having with yourself and about yourself, especially when you're having a hard day. So that internal voice, right, that internal critic that goes on in our head, that is either confirming a threat or building safety. But you get to decide which one has the louder voice. 4, practice being calm or practice engaging in quiet moments of stillness in small doses so you can get used to it at first. Think about it. If you're having a busy day, maybe take 5 minutes of quiet before you go reaching for your phone. If you're taking a walk, maybe do it without listening to a podcast this time. Or my favorite is taking 3 deep intentional breaths, but making sure that your exhale is longer than your inhale. When you are engaging in a breathing pattern like this, your body can't even sustain a stress response. My second favorite is to let your body move what your mind's been holding. So think yoga, think stretching, think long walks, right? This is not about exercise. This is regulation. Ooh, another one that's really good is like when you do the shakes or the tremors, right? It's ETF tapping. Just giving your body little small taps to help regulate your nervous system all over. Again, this is not about the exercise. This is about finding a way to regulate your nervous system. So I love when we can add a little bit of science in the mix. So here's some science about everything we just talked about. You can rewire your brain, right? Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity. And those are the grooves and the channels, the pathways that we form in our mind. And so to rewire your brain, you can create new experiences that then help override the current ones. So all this means is that dysregulated nervous system that you've had for maybe some years, it can be rewired. It can be created anew. Not overnight, not all at once, but with consistency and with practice. So regulation is not passive, but it is how safety can become your new normal. Well, friends, we are at the end. And if this video landed for you at all, I want you to do 2 things. First, I want you to take my free clarity quiz. It is going to help you identify what has been actually running the show behind the scenes in your life. Link is in the description. And 2, I created a somatic meditation that is gentle and it's body-based, and it's really for the woman who has been constantly living in her head for way too long. That is going to be the next video that you're going to see pop up on the screen right now. And if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Every week I'm here talking about how do we build a life that feels as good as it looks. So drop me a comment, tell me what landed for you, and I'll see you next week.